General, it's always great to talk to you, especially on this topic specifically. You know, yesterday, as President Trump was giving this press conference, later in the day, we saw this meeting with Turkish President Erdogan, Vladimir Putin, and Bashar al-Assad talking about Syria. And when you think about getting out of Syria, while Russia clearly has designs on a warm water port there, you're concerned about what Turkey is doing in Syria based on a relationship with the Kurds. You think to yourself, even if you want to get out of Syria, maybe now is not the best time.
Well, it's going to be a best time here shortly, and President Trump's trying to de-escalate the situation there. And thanks to the United States and to the Russians, we basically decimated and neutralized ISIS, at least 90% there. Those are maybe 10% remnants. So he wants to de-escalate. There's no timetable. He'll pull them out when he has to, and we'll stop paying for a lot of the money that's been wasted in the Middle East. So I think it's a good move, and we should be prepared to do that. And the next thing, have Putin and Trump meet so they can work out the other situations there with the Turks and what's happening with Iran across Syria into Lebanon with the Hezbollah. So you've got that mixture there, but Trump's on the right track.
Yeah, I mean, there's basically 4 wars happening right now in Syria. But what President Trump said, I think resonates with a lot of Americans. When you think about $7 trillion of U.S. taxpayer money going into the Middle East, of course it makes sense. You want to pull out. Why throw good money after bad? But at the same time, President Trump is now having John Bolton come on board as his national security advisor. Mike Pompeo is taking over as Secretary of State. And you got guys like Rand Paul, who obviously is not a hawk, saying, look, Mr. President, stick to your instincts. Get these guys out of here. Who is going to, who's really kind of platform is going to win here? Bolton, who's been very hawkish on this stuff, or President Trump, who says we're spending too much money? It seems like there's a conflict there.
Well, you've got a number of issues there at hand, not only the money, but putting our troops at continued risk over there in a very highly complex competing environment there, then the notion of rebuilding Syria using Arab money. But Trump and Bolton will be on the right track, but we need to elevate it up where Putin and Trump can get together, hopefully by June, and solve some of these problems over there, vis-a-vis what's happening in Turkey, again in Iran. And, I've been inside Syria myself several years ago, and I'm very much attuned to what that situation is there. But now the focus has to rise as you de-escalate. How do you secure Syria, and then how do you rebuild it using Arab money?
Yeah, President Trump in the past has called for, hey, let's let Vladimir Putin and let them take care of securing the state of Syria. Are you comfortable with that? If we do pull out of Syria, ceding that control, Vladimir Putin is going to be the one responsible, and he's going to have the option to rebuild Syria. He's obviously closely aligned with Assad. Are you comfortable with that?
Well, Russia, of course, has the warm water port there at Tartus. They also have a major air base up at Latakia in the western part of Syria. And so they control more what goes on in Syria than the United States does, or Iran, or even Turkey in the northern part up there. So being a major player and controlling a lot what the government does, move towards replacing Assad with new collective leadership in Syria is a major point that I've made to Ambassador Bogdanov, who is Putin's top guy for the Middle East. He and I have met several times, and they're willing to go forward. If we can get past blaming Russia for everything and start working with the leadership there to solve problems, we'll be much better.